We would like to thank you for joining us today in this hot day. So very happy that you were able to make it.
Thank you for inviting. I appreciate it.
We have actually came across, I know Camilla knew you for a long time, but our team and everyone, we came across your profile and your art quite recently, and I got so mesmerized with the work you do. And I actually asked Camilla, our media manager, to contact you to, especially now since we're in Baku, to try to arrange the interviews in person. And I think today art is one of the moving forces, and we want to explore with you, especially what you do with AI. So you're very like in time with everything today. So to start with, I would like to ask you like about yourself and your background, how you came to your art.
So my background is I have several backgrounds. I started everything with computer science when I studied in Baku in Khazar University. While I was studying, I always was into art. My family was, my father is a collector. He always, I grew up with paintings, with visiting the museums. And while I was studying, I didn't like the purpose of the software development, what we are doing for commercializing the work or working for someone. And after graduating, I decided to study visual communication design. Even I didn't enough believe in myself that I could be an artist, and I chose to become a designer. I moved to Turkey and studied visual communication design. While studying there, I understand there is much more things to solve in a society, and design is much more manipulating society more than the solving problem. And I transitioned to another university in Czech Republic to study fine arts and experimental media. So this is my background.
Yeah, it's a crazy journey. That's actually interesting because I was wondering, within your family, did you get the support when you were trying to like establish yourself as an artist? I think as much as art is appreciated now, it's always is misunderstood, and many people can sometimes find it like unstable field to join, especially if you studied computer science before and like moving from that into the art. But now it feels like you're mixing both in a way. Which came first, your interest in art's influence on society or technology?
I would like to explain this in this way. So there is always problem and there's always solution for that problem. The technology solves some problems that makes our life easier, but there's a much more important issues about our emotional state. So the art for me is solving our emotional problems. Art connects with us, with our past, with our own culture, with our own emotions, with our own memories. So for me, I think that my first goal is solve people's emotional problems, to give them different perspective to life. While I'm creating my artwork, they can understand this technology actually could be in different ways. For example, there was an exhibition in 2019 in Venice Biennale. I participated and I represented my country. After the exhibition, I met one professor from Sapienza University in Rome, Italy, and he invited me to give a lecture in the university, and he wrote like academic paper about my artwork, and then he started to teach about my artwork. And some other scientists took my research about how I use the machine learning to analyze the traditional patterns. They use the same machine learning model to analyze the X-ray images to solve the healthcare issue. So sometimes the art can influence the technologies through the technology that solves other problems and inspire others.
It's very interesting. I mean, you're mixing something that is so, I mean, I know your work is heavily influenced by Azerbaijani culture, by Middle Eastern culture, and it's such a big historical time. And then you're mixing something so old school with something that is so new. Do you ever feel misunderstood, or did you ever came across to someone who didn't understand your art or didn't get it?
Because how the artwork is perceived by people, my main goal is to lose people's time and space perception when they witness or experience my artwork. So they come to my exhibition, they see white carpet and projection mapping on the carpet with my animation. And when they look at first, because the animation is moving very slowly, so the first they think, oh, it's just a lighted carpet. And once they see that it's moving, they can how it's working, like because they also don't look up and they see there's a projection and say they just look on the floor. So this happened a lot in my most exhibitions. I just get constant the same reaction that wow, I didn't know this is digital.
Yeah. How does it make you feel, like seeing your art move people, like seeing how it could just shock someone, be like, oh, well, I'd never seen that before as an artist?
I really don't know. It's strange feeling that couldn't be expressed. There's a mix of feelings, that proudness to being a visionary or pioneering something in your field that no one did it before. It's very strange. Always it depends from change from the time to time, change from the exhibition to exhibition. There was a one exhibition I did in Dubai 1 year ago, and one guy came and he saw my carpet installation, and he started to cry because when his father died, they covered the body with that carpet on something, and he immediately resonated and connected with that memory. And he was super child when his father died. He was not able even to remember the memories. But once he saw my artwork, he just kind of subconsciously traveled that memory and recreated that memory while witnessing my artwork.
It's so interesting how I think it's only is with art, like of any even forms, like that it can transfer you to a place and time and remind you of something, or like ignite these feelings you might have forgotten about, or just put you in a time and place that you want to revisit or didn't want to revisit. So it just, yeah, as we said, it's such a historically rich segment that you use within the Middle Eastern culture. How do you not keep it overdone? Like, do you ever feel like it's too overdone, and how do you give it a twist? I know you're doing like this fresh techie twist, but do you always usually feel like you want to do something new, or what should I do to make my art feel different from others?
I wouldn't say it's overly done. Maybe I don't know, but I know only 2-3 people who is using this medium, and each one has a very different, unique, distinguished style more than each other's. I always try to keep up to create different memories, not like only just focused on the carpet or Islamic patterns or miniature paintings. There's always a lot of stories to tell. And each time when I have an exhibition, based on the exhibition, it comes what should be done for the audience, for the people, what's the context, how it should be.
Since you're now like you almost like a pioneering this new forms of art, you're mixing old with the new. Do you ever feel like while you work any artist stagnation? Do you ever feel like you don't have any inspiration?
First, I don't believe in talent, and I don't believe it's inspiration that you sit and there's some idea came and oh my God, I'm doing something. My brain is working by problem-solving method. It's a mindset like this. If I sit and if I don't have any plan to do any exhibition, any show, then I don't create anything. I just research and read history, read books, travel other museums. But when it comes that, okay, we are inviting you to, let's say, the Art Basel or the Frieze or another exhibition, then immediately I know what should I do. Like it takes a matter of seconds that I know what should I do, and I know what it will look like in the end before even the designing or sketching. So each time my artwork is changed for the audience. The London-based audience is very different, Dubai-based audience, or very different from the Miami-based audience. So each time it really is different context, different audience, but the same context that I do.
You mentioned like because you do work on different audiences and you cater to them, and yeah, it's actually amazing the way your brain works and the way you work with the art, because I know previously, like speaking to the composers, I remember they would tell me that it would be hard for them to work on timelines or deadlines because they would sometimes have no inspiration, so they couldn't do anything with it. But it's amazing that you're able to do that and cater to a specific audience. Speaking on that, with the audiences, do you ever feel like you need to, for instance, do you research London's culture? Because London has its own, like it's very cultural city in a sense, before doing your shows. Do you research Dubai's culture, like wherever you work, Germany? Do you need to like connect with society there in order to create a show, or?
No, I wouldn't say it's related to the culture of the city that I am doing. I always do my own culture and my own identity representation. It's always changed how I show the artwork to the people. I realize that Dubai-based people don't care about much the digital. They are very forward-looking people. They build amazing content and city. But when it comes to the art, they are more tangible. They consider the tangible artwork is an art, and non-tangible is not an artwork. It's just some way of the visual. So when I do in Dubai, mostly I do the physical art. But in London-based people, they are very looking forward people. They understand this digital art is an art, and when I do, it's considered as an artwork. Or in Miami, for example, people like more experience-based art. So instead of digital, I create more experience, immersive installations that attracts much more people, especially kids. They're fascinated running around on the projection mapping, playing.
Amazing. If you were to pick a historical figure to create a piece with, who would that be and why?
Without doubt, it will be Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Why?
So he has this social political issues and about being African American culture, the slave issues. So it also solves that there's a problem, and he needs to tell the message of the problem to deliver to the people, and how the way of how he was doing his art is approximately the same how I am doing. I'm researching the book, taking the patterns, the symbols, taking stories, and telling the stories to the people with all my medium. So he's one of my favorite artists ever lived in the universe, and I would like to one day in another parallel universe to collaborate with him.
Do you think that art needs to have a message? Or do you think art is there for amusement?
It's always delivers. You always triggered by something to create an artwork, to show to people. I don't consider even like an abstract art, which is fully based on the just abstract shapes or let's say even the cubism or the geometric art. When you look at even fundamentals and read the artistic statement of the artwork, you will understand that all artworks has their way of telling stories, what we're about telling. If we will go to, let's say, the Van Gogh Museum, you will see the Starry Nights, and it has own artistic statement the curator is talking about. Maybe in the time when the Van Gogh was painting these paintings, he didn't think or what he was doing, but there's a very precise in the results that how it affects on people's mind and imagination, how it affects their inspiration.
Yeah, for sure. Same as with artists, do you think your Azerbaijani background and culture experiences affect your art and shape it in a way, especially when you address it within the universal themes?
So definitely, the reason of why I'm creating artwork is when we look at Azerbaijani history. My family is a refugee. We came to Azerbaijan with very bad conditions, and we lived under more than 30 years under refugee identity. And when I was in 16, I started to walk around, like go abroad to other countries, to travel with my father. And always when I saw other cultures, meet other identities or people, there was a big question that, what's Azerbaijan? Who is Azerbaijan? And are you Turkish or are you Persian? And I started questioning myself, because when you are in like a 16 age with a teenager, you become a person, you question yourself a lot. These questions led me to actually become an artist, because first of all, art is not giving the answer. Art is asking questions, is all about. So I started to ask questions to myself that who am I and what's my ancestors? Like because I am now alive here, I'm only the man in my whole, let's say, the generation, because we're a very female dominant family. And and I start question that, okay, to be able to make me alive, there was a huge generations that they went through the wars, the pandemics, they survived so big things that in the end, the only reason was to protect the family legacy. So, and now I am here. And how I can connect with my ancestors. So this is one part. Other part is the question our identity. Who are we as an Azerbaijani? How we influenced for other cultures? Deny or not deny, we influenced a lot by Persian culture.
Yeah.
We influenced a lot by the Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan culture. Why was the Silk Road? And we influenced a lot by the Russian culture.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
we influenced a lot from Turkish culture. So these periods of our life, there was a Soviet Union period. After Soviet Union, there was a Turkification period that we start to align with the Turkey more. There was before the Safavid times, we were very influenced with the Persian culture. So it's the small parts that influenced to make Azerbaijan Azerbaijan, or our culture is culture. It inspired me a lot to just ask it questions to myself that who am I actually?
Yeah.
And when I'm asking these questions to myself through my art, when the visitors or the people who witness my artwork, when they read and they will research more, and they start to ask the same questions to themselves: that who am I as a person, and is the culture matter for me to form my identity, or not form? It's just a way of that we have to keep it in the museums or in the history books.
Yeah, for sure. You touched something that is, I think, many people feel in a way, especially people from this region. And I think we were in the Silk Road, and many cultures were going past us, and now we're like a hybrid of humans and hybrid of culture in a sense. And yeah, the ability to be transforming it into who you are, and that transforming into your art. I think that's what makes your art so beautiful in a way, because it's unique, like yourself. What do you think is the future for art? Like, what do you think? How do you envision within 10 years from now? What change do you think will be there, if there will be any?
Definitely more people will adopt to the art. So when we look at the perspective, art and the ownership of art, it's frankly, it didn't develop in Azerbaijan, that ideology. But when we look at the international collectors and the families who collect by generations and pass their collection to generations. So you are very limited when you are collecting the physical art. And for that reason, you are very careful what you are buying, what you are investing, and how you are preserving this artwork. But with the revolution of the digital technologies and the blockchain-based art, art can live forever on the blockchain without any third party.
Yeah.
So much more people start to collect art now. And while they are collecting art, more artists is becoming artists. More artists is monetizing their creative career, which is till 2014. I never sold, and I didn't know actually digital artists can sell their artwork. My only idea was, okay, you create some digital work, and you only create for someone, and the other things that you do is illustration for yourself. It's just for fun. And once I understand the typical collectors actually collects this kind of artwork, and I start to sell my first artworks in the CDs or DVDs, and it was a different feeling. But now there's this NFTs and the blockchain-based artworks allows much more bigger audience to collect art. It doesn't require any space. So, and more artists is becoming artists, more art lovers, or the young generation becomes artists. I choose become artists, and it will definitely help to develop this industry much more further to reach much more audience.
Yeah, and in a way, it feels like it gives the artists that matters to their own hands, like gives them more power. They don't need to run spaces, and they kind of free to do whatever they would like. Do you have any upcoming projects that you would like to share?
Yeah, so 1 month ago, approximately in May, not actually 2 months ago. So in May, one of the leading museums in the USA, they contacted me that they are opening their own museum in Abu Dhabi, and they want to acquire one of my installation. So I cannot say the name of the museum, but it's the same level as the MoMA. So the
Oh
next
my
one
God.
is the MoMA, is
That's
the
amazing.
museum. So they are opening another branch in the Abu Dhabi,
Yeah.
UAE, and they contacted me to purchase one of my installation and have in a permanent collection, and also having a solo the exhibition for that. So this is only living Azerbaijani or ever Azerbaijani who ever collected by that museum. I have an NDA until 2025, so I cannot say the name, unfortunately. And this is one of the biggest achievement and upcoming project that I think I did. I constantly, every year, I participate in Art Basel, Art Dubai, and Frieze.
Amazing.
So this is, if you're in London, come to visit Frieze exhibition.
For sure.
If
I
you're
will.
in Basel,
I will be there as soon as I'm back. I will be definitely there. I know you were also Biennale 2019. Your experience there. How did it feel? Would you consider it one of your biggest achievements?
I would say it's my first big achievement. I did much more bigger projects after the Venice Biennale, but thanks to my curator, I mean, early times of my art career, he believed in the potential of what I'm doing, and the government invited me to represent my country in the Venice Biennale.
How did it feel, like rubbing your shoulders next to big names when you were? It was still beginning of your career too.
It definitely shaped my career a lot in a very good way, and I never was proud like for myself.
Yeah, no,
it was very good.
So, you've done over 100 exhibitions around the world. Do you have your favorite city? Do you have a city that you feel like this is my home, this is my place? I feel like a fish in the sea.
I would say London.
London.
I tried to move London to study or pursue my career a lot of time, and there was always something happening. Always either financial issues, either the visa issues, either the SAT issues, problems. And once I moved there in January, I feel completely that this is actually the home. So I feel more comfortable in London doing art, reaching, collaborating with other artists, having the ecosystem of artists, collectors, and the supporters more than here. When I come to Azerbaijan, I feel just, it's a home. My family is here, my parents is here, my sister's here, but there's nothing that I can connect here to create or pursue to do something artwork. Yeah.
No, I relate to that. I do feel like that in London as well. I think it's quite, because it's also quite, multicultural in a sense, in all sense of culture. So you always feel like it's your place in a way. Yeah, I wanted to thank you today for having this talk with me, for coming all the 5 flights of stairs here, and doing it. I hope to see you again in London and do this interview again. Like, just redo it in the new locations. And
I appreciate it a lot. Thank you
nice
for
meeting
inviting.
you.
It was a nice interview.